Hey folks, another video here at the Nebraska Sheep and Goat Producers Annual Conference. One of the presenters this year is Isaac from the US Meat Animal Research Center near Clay Center, Nebraska. Norman L. Hruska, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty familiar with that location because my dad did your job for like 72 million years because he was there for quite some time. He's long since retired now, and he's been a few people between you and him, but you've taken over now. At today's presentation, you updated us on a lot of the different research projects that you're doing out there. They're, I think, great options to improve. I know it's primarily focused on sheep, but there is a lot of crossover.
Oh yeah.
Especially with some of the stuff I found most interesting, which is some of the predator control, predator management options that you guys are kind of experimenting with.
Right.
So if you don't mind talking about those a little bit.
Oh yeah. So the first option, this is a project I actually got grandfathered into. They were conducting it when I took over in 2023 in our pasture lambing groups. And this is a livestock predator protection collar that is developed in South Africa. It utilizes a hard plastic neck brace to prevent biting strikes, along with spikes along the collar and a reflective insert, and then a bell. And the hope is that will prevent the coyote from being able to get a hold of the throat and kill the lamb. And then also the bell is either going to scare or alert the dogs away and alert the guard dogs that there is an attack occurring. Along that same vein, we've had some issues in our mature animals, and a large collar with spikes on it's not ideal in those mature animals. And so what we've wanted to try, and it's worked somewhat well, is putting bells around about a third of the ewe populations. And the goal with this is to alert the guard dogs that an attack is occurring, and hopefully the guard dogs can intervene in time.
It's interesting to me how that's kind of gone full circle. We're back to putting bells on animals.
Yeah.
Now I think in a lot of cases, there were other reasons to put bells on
Oh,
animals,
yeah.
but it makes you wonder, was maybe one of the reasons predation?
Right.
Possibly.
Well, and this one's not actually a sheep collar. This is one of our guard dog tracking collars, and that helps you determine if a dog is actually being effective in the field. And this uses cellular towers and just helps us locate animals.
Yeah. I know I've run goats in very heavy brush, and having a tracking collar on the dog, not that particular brand, but tracking collar on the dog, sometimes that's the only way I can find them.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I have a very good dog that stays with the stock. Not all dogs do that.
Right.
Especially, some dogs, they're still doing their job, but they're out patrolling the perimeter
yeah.
or something like that. So, I also understand you're working with a couple of different people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I've actually mentioned this on the channel before, but I'm a really big fan of the Texas A&M AgriLife Livestock Guardian Dog Research Program. It's run by Bill Costanza. Really friendly guy. I've talked to him before. I know you've talked to him before.
Oh yeah, he does a yearly audit with us.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. But one of the things is he's down in Texas on big West Texas
Mm-hmm.
sheep and goat ranches where they're running 10,000 head on 30,000 acres
Right.
or something like that. That is a different environment than by a counter producer than most producers.
Right.
Most sheep and goat producers are much smaller operations, closer to city limits and stuff like that, and you have fewer stock and different fencing, and there's different concerns. So can you talk a little bit about kind of the program? I understand it's kind of just getting started.
It's
but what you're kind of doing there.
Yeah,
as far as that goes.
it's a fresh program we're starting. We have a guard dog program currently that we're developing that is going to be utilizing a lot of the techniques that Bill has utilized in Texas. And actually, we have hired a young lady that was one of his proteges, and she is trying to develop and make those techniques adapt to the Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, more of those environments where you have a range flock, but cities may be 2 miles away. And so you have concerns of dogs wandering from town and causing issues. You have concerns about people just jogging and biking and we don't need a big guard dog to terrify some lady that's jogging down the road. And then on top of that, it's just not ideal in those situations to have a dog that does the wide perimeter patrols, because they don't understand necessarily where that fence is all the time or where they need to be. Whereas in our situation, especially like around the research center, I want these dogs to stay with the flock in a very controlled setting and not necessarily go on a wide berth patrol.
Yeah. And I think some of that, you look at the difference, down in West Texas, it's very low stocking density.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever been down there, there's not a lot of feed on the ground. It does not have very high carrying capacity. Well, that bubbles all the way up to the predator load. I would be willing to bet that here in Nebraska, even this part of Nebraska, there's probably more coyotes per square mile, whatever, than there probably is in West Texas, because there just isn't enough nutrients in existence in that area to support any more coyotes than what they have. So out there at the research center, I've been out there many, many times, obviously, and there's a lot of coyotes out there. Very limited hunting.
We have a USDA employed hunter that does hunts when we request and does a targeted predator control. However, that's much more limited than you would see on a privately owned operation.
And so you're talking about actually a really good test environment to really stress test some of these ideas and principles, whether it's kind of non-traditional methods like the collars, or just how to better adapt livestock guardian dogs to this particular environment in a high predator pressure situation.
Well, and a lot of these technologies we're going to try to blend together, because at the end of the day, we're here as animal stewards, and we want to provide the best opportunity for these animals to be successful. And predators can really throw a wrench in those plans, especially with limited control options we have facing a research facility. And so using these non-traditional methods and the proactive measures of the guard dogs is going to lead us to more success, especially because usually you think of the guard dogs as being violent and killing the coyotes. It's actually more of their presence just diverts the coyotes.
It's a deterrence.
Yeah.
You don't really want your guard dog fighting coyotes.
No.
A good guard dog is way too valuable to be letting it risk itself fighting coyotes. That's my hot take. Because I've gotten, I've disposed of coyotes, assisted the dog in disposing of coyotes before, and I've had people comment, your dog can't do its job and take care of the coyote for itself? I don't want it to.
Right.
Like, it's a really good dog. I do not. The dog is the reason I knew there was a coyote there.
Right.
So that's a common misconception. There's a lot of bad advice out there when it comes to livestock guardian dogs. That's why I don't actually talk about them all that much, and I really point people towards Texas A&M.
That's what I would do too.
And I'm looking forward to also being able to point them towards the research programs that you guys have.
As we develop this program farther, I hope to get the trainer out in front of people, and she can kind of guide, especially programs and protocols and development ideas for this region, because there is a growing concern of an increased pressure of coyotes, and like I had talked earlier in my presentation, that reintroduction of species such as big cats and wolves, that's a real challenge we're going to face no matter what. And so taking these measures now is going to lead us to more success in the future and healthier animals.
Thanks for your time, Isaac. Hopefully we'll get this video posted soon. If people do want to reach out to you about your projects or programs, should they reach out to you directly, or should they go through the extension program?
So the best way to get a hold of me is my email. I have an office phone, but I'm not super often in the office.
I can put your email down in the
That would be
video
great.
description. So. All right. Thank you, Isaac.